everyone. This is Lions Den Podcast, and we're back today with another episode about the Lions vs Viking games. So I'm Jackson.
And I'm Owen, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. Today's episode is going to be about the Lions versus Vikings. Some might say by far the most important game of the year.
Yeah.
Which decided.
And we'll tell you why.
Well, we'll tie the line a little bit, and we'll do a deep dive into it. So thank you. All right, everyone. So we're going to start off this episode with some of the Lions' injury reports, and some say the Lions have some of the worst injury reports.
Yeah, and injuries I feel like have been a big problem lately with the Lions. Like big people like Hutch have been out. Anzalone's been out for a while, but he was clear to play this week, luckily. He actually played this game with a metal plate in his wrist.
Yeah.
We'll show you guys on the screen. He posted on his story of the picture right after surgery, and a week later he's playing in a football game, tackle football.
At the highest level there is, too.
And he led the team in tackling that game, which is just crazy.
I mean, the Lions defense has really been hit hard. I think we have 13 players on our defense that are currently out right now.
Yeah, most injured team and most injured defense, of course.
I mean, the defense has really taken a toll. I know the defense has struggled. At the start of the season, the D-line, I felt like the defense was like something that was like, it wasn't, you wouldn't expect it to be one of our good attributes, but the defense was solid,
Yeah, it was good. I feel like the first couple weeks, including Tampa Bay,
I feel like with
the
Hutch,
teams were only scoring 20 points.
I feel like with Hutchinson, would probably likely would have won Defensive Player of the Year.
For sure.
7.5 sacks in 4 games.
He got like 5.5 in one game, I think.
Yeah, I mean, easily could have won Defensive Player of the Year. Kirby Joseph's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I think he has the most interceptions in the NFL. And, a lot of the star players have been taken out. Carlton Davis Jr. III, huge part in the Texans win.
Especially because the corners, we are the big concern with the Lions, I think, was the secondary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And having guys on our secondary go out, I think that's just, we can't have that.
Carlton Davis, a really good cornerback, a really good, one of the best players in the secondary, broke his jaw in the Bills game. I don't even know how
he broke his jaw. And then Arnold left the game early. It looked like he tweaked his ankle or his leg or something tackling.
Yeah.
So I hope he's okay. I think he'll be good for the playoffs.
Emmanuel Mosey, is going to be placed on IR for illness this Saturday.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, Terrion Arnold,
Yeah, as we said.
hurt his ankle.
And then guys like Derek Barnes, you might not know his name, but if you remember, he got the game-winning pick against Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay in the divisional round last year.
In the divisional round, yeah. And I remember my dad was on a work trip, and I was on a FaceTime call with him for the final part of the game. And I just called him when the play was snapped, and then all of a sudden I was cheering, and his TV was behind. He's like, "Ooh, what happened?" And I was like, "Oh shoot, you don't know." And then it was such a great moment.
And, amazing. And then fortunately, one of the star running backs for the Lions, David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I think he sprung his meniscus, or no, not meniscus, MCL.
Wow.
So he could be out for a while, but he's expected to come back for the divisional round. And then some people say Ian Hutchinson. He's been posting on his story, posting on Instagram. Apparently, he's been telling a lot of players in the team that he's coming back for the Super Bowl if we come.
Yeah, and Pat O'Connor on our D line, he's been out too.
Pat's been out.
So
Aleem McNeil, a lot of people don't really know who he is, but he's one of the crucial part of this defensive line.
Yeah.
And it's really sad to see him on guys like Malcolm Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, he stepped up. I'm gonna be honest, as a huge Lions fan, I didn't know his name last year.
Yeah, I mean, he
stepped up.
Been playing lights out this season, and then November 30th, he's just out of nowhere. He just gets hurt, and he's on injury reserve, so he's likely out until maybe the division round.
Yeah, and a lot of people are kind of putting this on Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Because it's like his relentless style of play. Practice is every single day. Film, right after practice. Hard work, tackling at practice, going all out. If you don't give your 100%, you're off the team, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So their body doesn't have that much rest. And even though they're pro football players, they still need rest.
Yeah.
And their bones and their muscles, I think, are weak. So that's why they just...
I mean, there's been a lot of games where the game's been over. I mean, Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, we've been up by 30, 40 points in the fourth quarter, and he'll still throw the starters out and try and put more points on the board.
Yeah.
It leaves a lot of risk on the field.
It really does.
And it's just, sometimes it's unnecessary. Sometimes you'd like to see, if you have those players on fantasy, sometimes, it's great. It's great to have them. It's great to get some more points. But sometimes the risk isn't worth the reward.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back from the sponsor. Big shout out to BEF.
BEF, they're all great people.
Making this possible. I really appreciate you guys. But let's get back into the topic. So, we were talking about injury reserves. We're talking about how it's affecting the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming into this game thinking the Lions, it'd be a huge shootout, and it'd be like, 45 to 44.
Yeah, my good friend Lucas actually said that Lions weren't going to score more than 14 points.
Yeah, a lot of people think that injuries would just hold them back too much. But that could have been farther from the truth. So the final score for the game was Detroit Lions 31, Minnesota Vikings 9.
And for you guys who don't really watch football, 9 means they didn't score a touchdown. They scored 3 field goals.
Yeah.
They didn't get the ball in the end zone once.
3 field goals, 2 amazing fourth and goal stops in the red zone.
Yeah.
The defense really showed up today. A lot of people were thinking that, Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison just they go off 120 yards each.
Amik Robertson.
Amik Robertson.
He locked up Justin Jefferson, arguably one of the best receivers in the NFL right now.
Justin Jefferson, 3 catches, 54 yards.
Yeah, but the best receiver in the NFL, he's gonna get 54 yards, 3 catches.
That was on the first quarter though.
But that's all in the first quarter. He made the adjustment. LeBron, Kobe, MJ, they're gonna score points. They're just if you hold them down, then that's a great job.
54 yards. To be honest, it's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
We had
for being the number 1 option on a football team.
We had our tight end had more yards than him. That's clutch.
Saquon had 77. Laporta had 63. J-Mo 34. Should have had that deep bomb catch. Goff. He has 11 picks on the season. 8 of them came on Sunday Night Football.
Sometimes Sunday night can get to all the lights are shining brightest.
Yeah, and this was a huge game. You're trying to be that guy.
So the reason why this game was so important is because both teams are in the same division and they're both 14-2.
The NFC North.
And the Detroit Lions had beat them earlier in the season, but it wouldn't matter because if the Vikings beat them, they'd have a better record. And they'd have the advantage because they beat us, so they'd go ahead of us in the playoffs, and they'd take the 1 seed in the NFC.
And the 1 seed, you get a first round bye, so you don't have to play in the first round of the playoffs, which is huge.
Especially important for the Lions. Every player we can get back off injury reserve. That's just one more weapon that we have, and one more positive, and one more better chance to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold. With the rush, which was a huge problem with the Lions, with Hutch out, and with a bunch of other guys out, he was 18 for 41. I don't know what that percentage is, but
below 50%.
It's below 50%, and he had a 55.5 QBR, wow. 0 touchdowns, 165 yards, yeah.
A really mid game, really mid. And then one player that really stepped up, I think, is Jahmyr Gibbs. 140 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 31 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdown.
And with this game today, he passed Barry Sanders in most touchdowns in a season.
Most touchdowns in a season. So, passed Barry Sanders, passed Jamal Williams, and he's arguably the best running back in the NFL.
Arguably. I don't really think it's arguably. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the NFL.
Some people give it to Saquon, some people give it to Derrick Henry, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs, if he wasn't sharing carries with David Montgomery, he could have 2,000 yards.
And remember, 2 years ago when we drafted him with pick 11 out of Alabama, everyone was like, what are they doing? Why'd they draft Jahmyr Gibbs with the 11th pick? Dan Campbell's stupid, fire him. But, look what it turned out. And a lot of people call Dan Campbell stupid for drafting J-Mo while he's hurt. Look what he did.
They've been able to develop these players at such a high rate.
Yeah.
And I think that's due to the coaching.
I don't even think we should just give it to Dan Campbell. The coaching staff, the wide receiver coaches, the GM, Brad Holmes, the running back coaches, everyone who's developing these players gets credit.
Ben Johnson.
It was his elite play calling.
Aaron Glenn. All key aspects, and I think they don't get the credit they deserve. I think they've completely done their part on making this team 15-2, coming from I think it was 2-15.
Yeah.
3 seasons ago it was 2-15, now to 15-2 in the top of the NFC.
Yeah,
it's the first time the Lions have ever been the number 1 seed, and and it's all due to Dan Campbell and all the coaching, and the development and the way they've been able to develop the players.
Yeah, and like I've never seen this before. We had 24 QB pressures.
Wow, 24.
Yeah, and that's insane. That QB pressures means the D line or someone rushing in is like about to sack Sam Darnold, but not sacking Sam Darnold. So we have to either throw it away or make a bad throw, which leads to interceptions or third down, fourth down turnovers.
Yeah, and the Lions have been playing lights out. A lot of people were saying they wouldn't be able to get the job done. I mean, they had 14 points in the fourth quarter to seal the game, and Jimmy Gibbs, just playing absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Craig Reynolds, even stepping up, taking 8 carries, 39 yards.
And Reynolds, I think he got pulled up from the practice squad.
Yeah, he got pulled from the practice squad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Dave Montgomery's injured, sprung MCL, but
he should be back.
He'll be coming back. Can't wait to see him come back and play. Honestly,
and that's great. That's a great reason why we have the bye. Because with that bye, we don't have to risk losing the first round of the playoffs without Montgomery. Now everyone gets rest. We have another chance to have Montgomery eligible to play without his injury, and then now he can play, which is great.
And that's all for today, guys. That's all we have for today.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm Jackson.
And I'm Owen.
And we'll see you guys next time.